The Nigerian media industry is filled with a plethora of talents and household names that are given life to television, print, and radio platforms in various ways. One of such names, who has made a mark for himself and continues to push boundaries in his own way, is Chude Jideonwo. The media entrepreneur and storyteller who recently turned 40 years old will be marking his 25th year in the media business and also the 5th year anniversary of his podcast, #WithChude, with the first ever live talk concert out of Africa. Some names set to feature in this concert are literary icon Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, award-winning actress and filmmaker Funke Akindele, celebrated comedian Buvi Ugboma, rapper and activist Falz, and renowned faith leader Pastor Jerry Eze. Joining us now on this show to discuss the upcoming live experiences, Chude Jideonwo, Chief Executive Officer of Joy Incorporated and the co-founder of Red for Africa. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you. It's good to see you, sir. Good to see you.
Welcome. Congratulations on all fronts.
Thank you.
40th birthday, 25 years in the media.
Thank you, sir.
20 years of Red Media Africa, 19 years of Future Awards, 5 years of your podcast.
Yes, thank you.
How has it been? And then this event on the 27th of April.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Right. But first of all, it has been a joyful period. It's been a period of reflection, and just memories of a long career. So that has been, it's just been a time to look back and think, this has been such a fascinating story in a country where people say a lot of things are not possible. So that's on that. WithChude Life is the craziest, boldest thing I've done, to get thousands of people into a hall to watch live what we do on our show. So the WithChude experience, we've talked to everybody from President Olusegun Obasanjo to Joke Silva, and people have seen the tears on the show, the laughter, the joy, the goosebumps, the revelations, things people have never said before. And we're taking that and we're putting it on a live stage. It's a live interview with some of the biggest cultural icons in the region at the moment. And the idea of it is, I believe that the work that we do as journalists, as storytellers is important, it changes lives. But also, as Nigerians, we deserve a time when we take care of our hearts and our spirits. There's a lot of hustle, a lot of bad news, a lot of negativity, that sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. And on this platform forces people to pay attention to what I consider the most important things. Yeah.
I love that. You know what I love about your brand, Chude, is that you've chosen to spread joy in a space where usually when you look at the digital space, what goes viral is usually, things that are a little bit more obscene or, have a negative context and so forth. But you've been able to do well by spreading joy, and you've stuck to that. Tell us a little bit about that journey of, just committing to this positive messaging that doesn't always go viral as quickly as some of the other behavior we see on social media. Yeah.
Well, two things. One is, when I turned in 2016, my life changed. As I've shared in the public, I got diagnosed with clinical depression, and I was at the height of my, so to speak, career and all the dreams I dreamed for myself. I had worked on a presidential campaign, I had won, I was working across the continent. We're working for, Red Media Africa was working for 3 banks simultaneously at the same time, and yet I didn't feel joyful. So 2016, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. I quit my job as CEO of Red Media because I thought I wanted to do other things in the world. So that taught me a lot about what really matters in life. Dr. Abati has been on my show, and he talked about when the phone stops ringing. And when the phone stops ringing, you realize your family that matters. It's the people who truly care about you that matters. It's the work that you believe in that matters. And so immediately I decided I was going to change my life and change the focus of my life. And it didn't matter what was popular or what others were doing. It mattered what was important to me. And its joy became very important to me. So it didn't matter whether it was going to be viral. So one of the beauties of the journey is that I started the show thinking Nigerians will not watch because of all the deep things we talk about. But what has happened is that we go viral constantly, just like the gossip shows and all of that. But the difference is that what we are doing actually wants to make a difference in people's lives. So that showed me that listening to yourself and being bold and courageous enough to do what you think you should be doing can make a way for you in this world.
Okay, in all of this, you are also primarily an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Red Media is about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Talk with Chude,
Yes.
#WithChude. It's
Yes.
about business.
Yes.
Future awards. You people organize events. In fact, at the time, you guys were involved in business. I once gave
And Dr. Abati was the chairman of our independent audit committee for 5 years.
I once gave a lecture
Yeah.
where I was arguing that the media is primarily business.
Yes.
Forget all these things about
yes.
ideology. We are supporting this. No, it's business primarily.
Yeah.
How good is business?
Business is doing well, and I didn't expect it to do well. You know, I remember in 2020 when I started my show, a governor asked Debola, I said, Chude, Debola is my co-founder. Chude is doing joy. Is he okay? Is everything all right? But Nigerians have really turned out for me, sir. I love Nigerians because my show, for instance, is the only talk show that people pay for, and they pay for on WithChude.com. It's $9 a month to watch the interviews. I never believed they would pay for it. You know, the WithChude live event is a paid-for event. You know, I could have filled the hall on week 1 if it was a free event. But I've always believed, like you said, that the media is a business. This is my career. This is my job. This is my gift. And I was talking about you a lot this week, Dr. Vati, because I mentioned that one of the people I learned from as a production assistant on New Dawn with Fumi Yonda was the Monday news panels. I will have Dr. Abati, Eniola Bello, Kayode Komalafe. And as a young media person, I paid attention to the lessons they were teaching about media business. And I knew I had to create a structure that could support my vision. So I make no apology. I've never been queasy about the media being a business. I've never been queasy about creating sustainability structures because this is my job and I love it a lot. And I have to keep doing it far into my 80s. That's a yes. And I'm very happy that Nigerians have supported me in building a platform. Like you said, we are talking about joy. So it's easy for people to be like, I have no time for this. But Nigerians have really believed in what I and my team are doing. And I'm very glad because it has helped us build a business that keeps growing every day.
You mentioned something in passing that I'm going to key into. I'm going to be a little bit troublesome. You mentioned, after winning a presidential campaign.
Yes.
And I remember some of the fallout on social media after you and your partner worked on that campaign.
Yeah.
And then maybe the candidate may not have lived up to, of course, being President Buhari, may not have lived up to people's expectations. And then you got a lot of attack.
Yeah.
There was, a lot of people came after you because they said, you sold us, what we got is not what you sold us.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that? Tell us about that experience.
Interestingly enough, it's that experience that led directly to WithChude. So I woke up one day, I wrote an article for the international magazine Quartz. I wrote an article, we had finished working on the Buhari campaign and worked on the Nana Akufo-Addo campaign in Ghana. And I wrote an article for Quartz saying, and then Trump won, and Trump was also 70. So I wrote an article called, why are young people voting for old men? Twitter ran mad. Twitter said, how dare you speak about this and all of that. So I was trending on Twitter for 3 days. It really broke me. And so this is literally what happened. I went on YouTube. I called my friend, my colleague Remy, and said, why did they hate me so much? He's a strategist, so he gave me a strategic answer, but it was an emotional problem. So I went on YouTube and searched for what to do when people hate you.
Oh.
And what came up was an interview that Oprah was doing with a researcher called Brené Brown about courage and fearlessness and what to do when you are attacked. And that healed me. So I said to myself on that day that one day I'm going to do a show like this. And somebody in Nigeria, in Africa, is going to put on YouTube, go on YouTube, and go and find an answer to their problems. And my show is going to come up.
If you could go back, would you still work on President Buhari's election campaign?
That's a dangerous question. It has the potential to distract people from Sunday's event. But I was proud of the work that I did. We formed a company that wanted to change national outcomes. And we achieved that. That was a personal goal for me, And my job as a storyteller, I'm very proud of. Yeah, but I've spoken after that about it. Not that it satisfied the naysayers, but I spoke after that about my disappointment with that campaign. And that's all I can do. I can only do my job, take responsibility for my decisions, and take any action I consider within my power to do. And that's all I did.
Okay, Chude, before we go, let me ask a problem uncle's question.
Right.
I've known you boys since your secondary school days through university and all of that.
Yes.
And I saw you in Mauritius, dancing, very colorful event. But I was looking around, on social media.
Yes.
We have social media uncles and social media aunties. I was looking for a potential wife. When are you going to bring us a wife? With all these achievements.
Yes, sir.
We the social media uncles. Yes. We are waiting for Madam.
It's going to happen. When it happens, they will hear. When it happens, they will hear. I will announce it. I try not to be secretive about my life. When it happens, they will hear.
Okay. We're waiting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because they just had one this weekend.
Yes.
Ashwebi.
Everywhere, sir.
Tony Abraham,
yes,
Priscilla, and her husband all over the place.
Yes,
we're waiting for that occasion.
If they see a bit of that Mauritius, and they know that when I do my own wedding, we'll shut down.
We are waiting. We are ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, sir, for being a supporter from the start.
No problem. Thank you.